might be real, but then changed for the PTB. It might not be real at all. But this has, it's been quite, it's been right a lot of the times. So it's very, what's the word? It's very reliable, I guess, right? It's kind of a reliable source, yeah? So, this is what we're expecting to see when we jump on the PTB rhymes, which I noticed. That's why I did it that way. Anyway. Slee Say, thank you for the 5 months. How can the devs not see that the lobbies are going to be 40 minutes? I fucking predicted this, guys. Dude, I feel like I'm saying I predicted this like every week now. But it isn't like because I'm psychic. I swear I'm not. I didn't come back from the future, I swear. I can just see very obvious pattern. But we'll see, you know. Right. Features of content added, blah, blah, blah. We don't need to read all of it. Some of it don't matter. Rift. Showing hiding talent screen, invert blah blah, treatment center. Okay, so that's the new treatment center map, the new LERYS. Removed Dutch and Swedish language support. I don't really get that. Curse legacy, blah blah blah. Balance. Okay, so gatekeeper emblem. We know that the flattened score value of all remaining generators. So now all generators are worth the same amount, 1 per minute, regardless of the duration that they remain in the match. Also added additional score for both gates remaining. Both gates remaining, I think it's saying. So yeah, Gatekeeper needed a change. It's got one. That's good. That's a positive. Hex Ruin. All generators affected by Hex Ruin. If a generator is not worked on, it regresses by 200%. Tier 3. That's Tier 2, Tier 1 to Tier 3. 100, 150, 200. Ashlock Heart, thinking of the 15 bits, I'll predict that the more they nerf killers, the more matches you will see killers not doing anything in the match and goofing off because it's not worth trying. Don't know. I think people just move to Survivor, and Survivor queues will go higher. But there's a solution to the Survivor queues going higher, which I'll get to further on this leak, which looks like they're going for, possibly. The Oni removed the turn speed limitation on Demon Strikes. They've gave Oni, this is a good thing, they've gave Oni the flick back, probably not as big, because it says this. Implemented a hard cap on the turn angle during Demon Strike. So it's definitely going to have more of a turn, but it'll have a stop where you cannot get past it. It's like a wall. So I'm guessing maybe 45 degrees or something. At the moment, it's like 30 degrees. I'm guessing they'll push it to like 45. They're not going to give it 90 degrees. They're not. Wait, was it 90? Or was it 180? It was 180, weren't it? Yeah, they could maybe give it 90. They're not going to give it 180. They're not going to do that. 90 would probably be the most, I think, if I'm thinking of that correctly. 45, 90. Wait, I'm getting confused. I think I'm saying that right. Am I saying that right? They said they're going to give him 90. Okay, so all right. Yeah. So it's not much different. At the moment, it's about 45, right? I'd say it's about 45. So they're doubling it. It's... Wait. No, I'm getting confused with the degrees now. 90 is a quarter. Yeah, I thought so. Because 180 is going behind you. What is it at the moment, would you say? It is about 45, isn't it? Maybe 50? Might be 50. It's not much more. Yeah, 360 is full circuit. Anyway, it's a bit better. It's not what it used to be, but it's a bit better. So at least that's something. Remove splinter offerings, blah, blah, blah. Disable blah, blah. Removed player ranks from the scoreboard on the tally screen. So you have to think, why would you remove player ranks on the scoreboard on the tally screen? So my kind of thought process would be slowly, or if not instantly, but not say it here, they're going to make it where matchmaking is massively lax. And what I mean by that is you can be a rank 20 and you will find a match really quick, but it could be against a rank 5. Or you could be a rank 5 and find a match really quick, but it's against a rank 20, etc. That would fix the issues of less killers playing. But it would balance the game by once again using potatoes, using people who don't play the game well to balance the game. When I saw that, it once again linked so well with my theories. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I guess we'll see what happens with that. I mean, what's the point of ranked at that point though, right? Maybe just get rid of ranked. Or do they want... I don't know, it's weird. It's a weird one, that. Okay, so doctor changes. But yeah, that player ranked one is an interesting one, I think. If you think... I always think about the motive behind something. And you don't just like, oh, it will just remove ranks from scoreboard. Once again, this isn't confirmed. This might not be in the PTB. This is leaks, okay? So remember that, guys. I will say that throughout because obviously new people come in. Knives are out. Thank you for the 20 bits. They already had that implemented on console. Yeah? Actually, I can't think of 10 bits. It's 48-degree turn. There's a video confirming it. Okay, so at the moment, it's a 48-degree turn, and they're going to put it to a 90. So not even double. A bit less than double. So yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's better. You know, you can't really complain. It's better. Not what it used to be, but it's better. Probably still quite easy to counter, but I guess we'll see with that. Galade, thank you for the 100 bits as well. I rarely use Rune, but I understand why people use it. Do you think people will use Corrupting Intervention as a replacement? Possibly. Kane Group, thank you for the 100 bits as well. I seem to get matched with Survivor Friends constantly, though. Yes. They never touch Survivor Friends, even though that's, like, one of the biggest buffs in the game, I'd say, without any negative. But again, that's fun for Survivor, and it is. It's really fun for Survivor, and it is aimed towards Survivor fun, sadly, as it looks like, not killer fun. Okay, so the Doctor changes. Remove treatment mode in the static field. Doctor will no longer need to switch stances to use shock therapy or use a regular attack. That sounds like a buff, and it sounds like a good thing, and it would be. Without some of these negatives, what do happen. Added Doctor-specific chase music, that's cool. Added a new special ability, Static Blast, as a secondary power. See below for more information. Added 3-second cooldown to shock therapy. This means 3 seconds before the Doc can hit with his primary weapon, use shock therapy or Static Blast. Wait, is this the one we're on about? 3-second cooldown to shock therapy. This means it will take 3 seconds before the Doc can hit with his primary weapon. Okay, they've worded that weirdly because they've put a 3-second cooldown to shock therapy, but really, it's a cooldown to attacking. So this is the thing I was talking about. So remember when we were talking about the pause? When you shock someone, and then you pause, and then you can't do anything. I thought you stood still, right? But really, it isn't you stood stand still. You can't attack, okay? So I think what this is saying is when you shock someone, and this is what I wanted to talk to you about. When you shock someone, you can't attack until 3 seconds is up. How long can they not do actions when you shock them? 3 seconds is slight, yeah. 3 seconds is long. 2.5 seconds. Is that real? So if they don't change that variable, you can run to a loop and get shocked, stand at the pallet and mash space, and you'll put the pallet down before he can attack you, correct? So he is 0 anti-loop if it stays as is, right? If it stays as is. So it's once again the Leatherface syndrome, where it looks like he's about to chainsaw you, which is scary. Oh, he's so close to getting me, just so close. But he actually slows down, allowing you to go further and get to a pallet. So it's like, oh, that was so close. It's kind of the same thing. It's kind of using ignorance, where, oh, damn, Doctor just shocked me. Oh, there's a pallet here. I'm really close. I need to press space. But really, there were no threat because he could never have actually hit you, right? That's if they kept it the same, though. If when you shock them, they're stunned for 2.5 seconds and you can't attack them for 3 seconds, they can literally stand at a pallet and mash space. Devon OTZ, she said you could still be able to block loops. Yeah, but how? You have to tell me, like, if these are the variables that we're talking about, then no, you can't. You can say that you can, but you can't. I'm looking at the variables, I'm looking at the data. But I don't know if the shock is for longer. Maybe it is. We'll have to see, because they don't say it here. Don't say there's a change to it. So, but yeah, 3 seconds after you blah, blah, blah. So they increased the base range of shock therapy by 10%. So this was a buff that we heard about, right? Where everyone's saying, oh, Moldy Electrode should be default for Doctor. I had a look at Moldy Electrode. I believe it's 20. What is Moldy Electrode, guys? I believe it's 20%. Or 25%. 25. So they didn't even give us Moldy Electrode. They give us not even half of its distance. At least it's higher, but they give us half of its distance. Oh well, it's not going to be too noticeable, but at least it's a buff, right? A buff to something which might not even matter, but it's at least a buff. Range increase in add-ons no longer increase the width of the shock therapy, only the length. And then this is just the normal ones. Oh, and it says this as well. Reduces charging speed to 67 normal form from 70 normal to keep the speed the same as 3.08. So this is saying when you're charging your shock, you're actually going to go slower than you would usually to replicate what it would have been like when you were in treatment mode, right? So when you were on treatment mode and you were doing your shock, it should be the same speed, even slower. Technically, it should be the same speed because it's lowering it by 67 from 70 because you were at 115% instead of 110, right? So it's pushing you back down to what it was anyway. I think it's that. Pretty sure. Remember, these leaked. It's not confirmed. I have to keep saying that. But we'll see soon. PTB soon, right? Madness... Oh, shit. Yeah, fucking hell. So... Oh, there's this other thing I forgot. Wow. Yeah, there's another big nerf. Not this. Something what's coming up. Madness regresses while outside the terror radius and does not regress while inside it. Was that normal? Did Madness regress? I can't remember Madness regressing. I'm pretty sure it didn't. That's a big nerf. Big nerf. Order class 1 slightly increases Madness affected by a static blast. So they've made Order shitter, by the way. FYI. Oh wait, have they? The static... Yeah, they have, haven't they? Because it was shock therapy Order. And now it says static blast. So have they made it where it doesn't work on shock therapy? Because that was decent. You got people into Madness quite quick. So it only works in shock therapy, which you'll see later is something you can only use every minute if they're in your terror radius. It regressed slowly outside treatment mode aura. Did it? I never remember looking at it, seeing it regress. But let's just say it did. Who cares? Because I don't know for a fact. I can't remember regressing back to tier 1, though, which I'm sure this is going to do. Maybe even out of Madness in general. You'll see something else as well. Madness doesn't do shit. Who cares? It does. It does help. It definitely does. Versus, you know, the more veteran survivors, it's not as big of a thing, but it does help. You can use monitoring abuse with Calm to sneak up. We had actually an interesting Dr. Bill we were looking into, which we're using monitoring abuse with the Calm add-ons, which basically gave you, I think, an 8-meter terror radius, coupled with your heartbeat pretty much everywhere. It was very deceptive. You could sneak up quite a bit. So Calm. So they've changed Order to the static blast, which makes it weaker, obviously. Way weaker. Before you could anytime you wanted and use it. Now you have to wait a minute every single time to use it. So that's 100% worse. If it is just for static blast, I'm pretty sure it is because it doesn't say shock therapy. So that's definitely a nerf to that add-on, in my opinion. Slightly increases terror radius while static blast is ready. Okay, so they've nerfed Calm as well. Calm were the one which... Well, let's see. So it slightly increases terror radius while static blast is ready. Slightly decreases terror radius while static blast is on cooldown. So basically what this means is once you use your static blast, you lose... Your terror radius goes slower. So it wants you to constantly use your static blast to... I guess it's the same kind of idea, but less consistent, right? You get it for a minute, and then it comes back, and then your terror radius is back, and then boom, you get it for a minute. It's interesting. I'd say that one's interesting. I'm interested in checking that new Calm. All right, more. There's a lot. Self-dock is only viable dock. I mean, you could still use self-dock with the new Calm, I think. It looks like it. Neo Cree, thank you for the 40 bits. It would regress, but not below the current tier you were on. Ah, okay. Yeah, I have a feeling this goes further. As you'll see further down. Endurance here with 100 bits as well. So what do you think about Ruin Potentially Man? By the way, Dev said yesterday, if you need to use Ruin, you're a bad killer. Yeah, must be a bad killer. Ash Lockhart, thank you for the that's really bad, by the way, saying that. Ash, what about DS? What about Survivor Friends? Could you imagine if the devs said, if you need Survivor Friends to win as a survivor, you're a bad survivor? Could you imagine that uttering from them? They would never say that. Ash Lockhart, thank you for the 10 bits. Okay, so when they do the animation for the static shock, the animation for the doc to go back to his weapon with 3 seconds, that's what the cooldown will be, I bet you. Yeah, it doesn't matter. You can't attack in that 3 seconds, Ashlock. The Zeitgeist thing of the 17 bits, 17 months. Time for testing. First stream I'm catching of the year. Happy New Year. Best of luck 2020 to you and Kat. You too, man. Uber One, thank you for the sub as well. Thank you, man. Ken Grimm for the 100 bits. Seem to get matched with Sorry Friends a lot. Atom with the 100 bits. Love you, true. Hope the games go well today. Oh, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. All right, so there's more. Wait, is this the same one? No, it went a bit further down, right? Yeah. Oh, I should have looked at this one. This is the same one, but just more. Right, whatever. Just making sure you can see it. So there's the calm. Model electrode, slightly increases charge time. They've done it still, by the way. Like, devs, there were one thing that a lot of docs wanted, and they wanted it where it increases the range, but it doesn't have a big negative to it. And they've just kept it. It slightly increases charge time and attack. Moderately increases charge time and attack. Considerably increases charge time and attack. So they're pretty much the same, so I don't even know why they're written here. Interview tape add-on, rarity change from uncommon to rare. Have they changed interview tape? I can't remember what that were. I remember it being something to do with like the pattern of the shock or something. Obedience quarters notes. Okay, so this is the new one. This is the new one, guys. This is when they were talking about the backwards skill checks. It looks like it's literally just one add-on. It changes the form of the shock. Yeah. Or is it the line one? I can't remember. No, I think that's... Yeah, it might be, actually. You might be right. So, obedience, quarters notes, right? There's only one add-on. And it's changed from very rare to rare. So, it's a bit less. Skill checks have a considerable chance to turn counterclockwise for survivors with matters 2 or 3. This is very interesting, but it's only linked to one add-on, which is boring. Like, why is this not just linked to madness in general? That'd be so nice. Because it's annoying for survivors. I don't know why I say this. It's kind of obvious. Scrap tape, name change to Iridescent Queen. Rarity change. This is interesting too. But it's changed from uncommon to ultra rare. So, once again, very rare. But it's interesting. Survivors hit with shock therapy or static blast acquire a lingering static charge. If survivors with a static charge is within 4 meters of another survivor, the survivor uses a shock with identical effects of the shock therapy and static blast. It's interesting. It's insanely rare. You won't have it all the time, but it's interesting. I like the idea of it. It's interesting. Iridescent King, pretty much the same, right? Shock therapy static blast called, yeah, it's the same. Rename the shock therapy score to pacified. Added a score event for hitting survivors with static blast tranquilized. Okay, so they give you a bit more blood points maybe for hitting them with the blast. They'd obviously add that because that's something new. There's more, way more. Okay, so here's the static blast. This is the details of the static blast. We're just looking at the leaks. By the way, this is leaks. Doesn't mean that it's all confirmed. Doesn't mean that it's going to be in. Doesn't even mean. I mean, it's a very. What would I say before? Reliable source. It's a very reliable source, but it doesn't mean that this is everything we'll experience in the PTB. I guess we can verify that. It's been correct a lot of the times, but we don't know. It is leaks, okay? It's just very interesting look at like this. And it actually says numbers instead of just slightly, moderately, which I love to see. Static Blast is a new mechanic for the Doctor. We remove the treatment mode and the ability to switch between modes. The Doctor will always be able to hit with his primary weapon, use Shock Therapy, which now has a 3-second cooldown. See, I'm still unsure with this. So, with Shock Therapy, is it saying Shock Therapy has a 3-second cooldown and you can hit with a weapon anytime you want? Or is it just saying Shock Therapy has a 3-second cooldown to use Shock Therapy again or a weapon? Like, I don't know what they mean with it. Are they just saying that it's a 3-second cooldown to use it again? Or are they saying a 3-second cooldown where you can't use anything? I don't know. Shock therapy has a cooldown, so you can use a weapon. It's before you can do anything. Cooldown affects all actions except movement. Oh, wow. Okay. God. Okay. Oh, so you can't keep shocking over and over because that annoyed survivors too, remember? That's what it might be. Possibly. The Doctor's static burst causes all survivors within terror radius gain 50 madness points. So how much madness is it to rank up, guys? Because it says 50 here, but I don't know what the max is. It would have been nice in brackets. This is the max. 100. 55 to madness 2. So it's just a bit off going into madness 2. Interesting. So you need to actually get them one more time. That's smart. If that's true. That's very smart. Huh. 105 for tier 3. 5 away again. Wow. That's weird. Right, so it's 5 away. So you always need to hit them that one more time, which goes way over than what you actually needed. Interesting. Okay. So... so 50 madness points. Doctor will laugh if the static blast affects any survivor. So you'll get the Doctor laughing, but you won't hear them scream, I believe. You'll only hear you laugh to give you an indication that you actually hit someone. So you will get no notification that whereabouts they are. You'll just know if you hit someone, right? Affected survivors will scream. Affected survivors will scream. They give away their location if their madness level increases. So will they still scream, but they'll only show them... Like, I don't get that. Will they show themselves if their madness increases, but they will still scream and you'll laugh if they get hit by it? Is that what it's saying? Okay, they scream, but it doesn't show them. It only shows them if the madness increases, right? I'm just trying to get around this, and that's why I can talk to you guys to, you know, make sure that what I'm saying is correct. Okay, so you will... they will scream, and you will get the laugh. And then if they do go up to a madness, you'll actually see them as well. I don't know why that's a big thing. Finding survivors is just one start of everything. Finding survivors is like the most minimal thing. At the higher rank it is anyway. At the lower rank it's probably a big thing for survivors to get found. But at the higher rank, you can literally run at a killer and you're not really that bothered because you just loop. Survivors outside the terror radius hear a directional neutral audio cue when the ability is being charged and when it fires. So that sounds like it's not going to have a direction to it. It's just going to be an audio cue that he's doing it. So you know you're going against the Doctor as soon as he uses it. Hopefully it isn't directional. It doesn't look like it is. Wait, a direction neutral. Yeah, I don't think it is. I think it's everywhere. Same as only ability cry, possibly. It's to be scary. For new players. Survivors inside the terror radius hear direction revealing audio cues. So if you're in the terror radius and he uses it, you know exactly where he was when he used it to know where he's coming from. Okay, that's a big buff to people who don't have too much awareness. Score an event for hitting survivors. Snap out of it adjustments. Massive nerfs to snap out of it. Just huge ones. Look at this shit. Look at this. Right, so... And it isn't just snapping out of it. It actually starts nerfing the madness too. So, snap out adjustments. Missing a skill check will regress the progression bar by 1/4 instead of all the way. Massive nerf. Skill checks will trigger at every quadrant of the process bar. I mean... I'd say honestly that's a buff. It's weird that they're doing it where it will 100% do this when they've been using RNG for so much stuff. To see that they can actually do it where it's consistent makes me kind of question why so much stuff is RNG. Because you could balance a lot better if you had stuff more consistent. But that I'd say that's more of a buff, right? 4, sometimes you get 3, wouldn't you? It's a bit of a buff. Sometimes you'd usually get 4 anyway. It's a bit of a buff. Doesn't rectify these nerfs, so these nerfs are way fucking worse than the buff. Releasing snap out of it action will keep the progress made as well. Massive nerf. And this is probably the biggest one. Snapping out of it sends survivors to madness tier 1 instead of tier 2. So as soon as you're tier 3, when you snap out of it, you're tier 1 again. So it's going to take you a while to get back to tier 3 again. That's massive. That's a massive nerf to not only madness, but snapping out of it. That's like really big. But yeah, NERF, that's a weird thing. Like everyone thought, oh, Doctor's getting buffed. Little did you know. Okay, so treatment theatre map update. This sounds like it's made it so it's worse for killer again. I'll tell you why. I mean, there's something you can see straight away. Made the map darker. Completely reworked the visual look and feel of the map. Cool. Made the map darker. That's obviously a buff to survivors. You don't want dark maps as killer. That's a no-brainer. Changed the layout to be more of a rectangular than square. That's more of a buff to survivors. With stuff what is rectangular means that it's harder to gen pressure. Why is it harder to gen pressure? Because you have to walk further for each gen. One gen at this side and one gen at this side are further apart than something what's square. So that's going to be harder to pressure gens again. Hid totems better. Probably don't believe you, but hopefully you have. Balance the distribution of safety of pallets. Don't get this. Balanced distribution of safety of pallets, balanced distribution of hooks, balanced distribution of safety of vaults. I guess we'll see, right? Because I think LERYS were one of the better maps for killers because there were more unsafe loops. There were safe loops. There were a lot of safe loops, but there were quite a few unsafe loops. Around the edges were very, very unsafe loops. Near enough all the way around. It was when you started going into the middle, they got safer. Like that room with the table and the completely safe pallet here in the window. You know, so I guess we'll see that.
You're in a cup, right?
Yeah. UI improvements. Progress bar for killer powers will now show blah blah blah. It's just quality of life. Added platform. Prompts when accepting claim challenge. Quality of life. Quality of life. Okay, here we go. So that's all that. We've seen the new map. Looks like it's going to be trying to make it more fun for survivors. The new Doctor makes it look like it's going to be more fun for survivors. I don't think it shows. Does it show the rune in this? I can't remember. Bug fixes. Issue that caused all survivors not to see blood orbs. Blah blah. Caused the issue. Okay, what is this? People who say, "Oh, true, it's an excuse. It's an excuse that your lunge missed. You just missed with the Wraith." Fixed an issue that caused the Wraith and the Spirit to not have their reappearance lunge speed burst. I mean, it's kind of obvious. Everyone knew it, but there you go. For people who really try and just pick at fucking straw. Like, what's that thing? You know, really just try and grab straws, right? Ash Lockhart, thank you for the 10 bits. Layout being rectangular for the map is a buff for Huntress for long hatchets. Depends on the layout. What happens if there's corners everywhere? Doubt it. Doubt it's going to be this long corridor. Doubt it. Atom, thank you for the 100 bits as well. Love you, true. Hope the game goes well today. Oh, I said that, didn't I? Eating straws, nitpicking, grasping at straws. Yeah, they're grasping at straws. That's the one. There's loads of different kind of analogies for it. I can. Okay, and then just some issues. Yeah. Iridescent. Okay, I didn't even know this. The Doctor's Iridescent King add-on not always applied 5 afflictions when 5 shocks happened. Didn't even know about that. How would you? It's quite hard to know about, right? Blah, blah. Okay, pretty much nothing. They're like just normal fixes. But there we go. We got the Wraith and the Spirit's reappearance of lunge speed. Let's see how that is. Let's see. These are just kind of like little issues. I'm pretty sure this is just LOD is kind of just like making the game look better, right? The game looks a bit better. Darkened the grass texture in Lamp King Lane. So once again darker. Move generator to the top floor of a 2-story house that caused players to undesirably vault the window instead of repair. What the fuck? Who the hell is jumping out of a window instead of walking to the gen? Are you fucking kidding? That is so weird. That is so weird to actually have that as a fix. Oh, it's a console issue. Okay. Weird. Never seen that. So they've moved Move the generator on the top floor of a 2-story house. I don't even know what the fucking generator they're on about. Whatever. Wait, what? Log pile to be lacking hitbox collision, allowing projectiles, and the cannibal's chainsaw to knock down. Okay, so that's a nerf to Huntress. That's a specific nerf to Huntress. Nerf to Huntress. At a log pile somewhere. I'm not sure where. Oh, log piles everywhere. Ouch. Oh, no, it's Lemkin Lane. I don't know where that is. But yeah, she can't throw over it now. So wherever that is, you Huntress mains, yeah, you can't do that now. If this is actually going through, obviously. And Cannibal can't, but it don't really matter about him, does it? Okay, that's good. An impassable gap for killers when a tree spawns too close to the asylum building. Okay. I'm just kind of like skimming this. Don't want to read every single bit. That's good. They fixed it where nurses blink around. You know it's called the gazebo tile, right? But I think it's the statues, right? I'm pretty sure it should be. Is it? Is it the statues? I did read that, yes. Gazebo. Oh, is that how you spell gazebo? Okay. Gazebo. Yeah, I guess. Oh no, they're the Buddha statues. Never mind, they haven't fixed the Buddha statues. Well, never mind them. Okay, something else. Anything else? Yeah, whatever. This is just like little fixes and stuff. Known issues. This is kind of dirty. I hope they're not like really just consistent. Distortion perk does not lose tokens. So you can literally use distortion and never be seen. Because it never loses tokens. You're completely invisible. The Doctor's power tooltip is slightly cut off, whatever. Sometimes the Doctor's static blast animation does not play. Survivors have no screaming animation when getting hit by the static blast. Loud whispers are heard after performing the snap out of it action. Public matches persist if use disconnects while loading to match. Some walls and assets have no projectile collision in the treatment theatre map. Some generators cannot be damaged from one side, and you cannot vault with a Legion in some pallets. So there you go. There you go, guys. Had a little look through. As I said, it's leaks. I'll probably upload this to YouTube, you know, to show people the leaks before the PTB, and then we'll jump onto the game. All right, guys. But yeah, I mean, I kind of went through it all, right? I went through it all. Maybe they're making it, you know, there's obviously going to be less killers playing, obviously. The ruin thing is going to obviously hit them. Just like the nerf nurse, just like the spirit nurse, it's hitting. Sound issues, still not fixed, etc. Didn't mention fixing them. Video effects. No, it's video effects. I just read. Maybe they fix it. I doubt it. I don't know. We'll see in the PTB. But yeah, less killers, longer queue times. How do we fix that? Just make everyone match with everyone. But then people will see, oh, I'm going against rank 1. This isn't fair. Get rid of the ranks. No one knows anything. That would be a fix. It'd fix gen speed, because gen speed as is versus optimal players obviously is not balanced. With potatoes, it's completely balanced. So it'd fix that, and it'd also fix lobby times when there's less killers playing. So there you go. Kane Grim, thank you for the 100 bits. Wow, just wow. Are they going through the rune changes just got here? Yeah, we're going to be checking the PTB soon. But there you go. That'll be on YouTube if you want to check out the thing on its entirety. So let me just do this.